morning. Welcome back to my channel. It's Richard from Powerlines, Power Naps. Saturday, the 1st of July. Wet day. Spin the camera. Wet all day. We've been down here since early. Well, it's only 8 o'clock now, but very heavy rain most of the night, I think. We had a power cut last night, so we had no power for about 3 hours. Definitely going into the rainy season, which some degree is good. We need the water, like I've said before. Hello? Flowers are flying away. So depending on what the weather does this morning, and I'm not going to be too hopeful of sunshine, I'm going to find somewhere dry, quiet, and have a little chat this morning. And I'm fully aware many of you subscribers, followers, watchers do actually know me from my past life, but as the subscribers are building, and I have to say here and now a huge thank you to the new subscribers. We're very nearly the 200 subscriber mark. We can get that over that today and then go in search of the 500. But I'm aware there's a lot of new subscribers watching, subscribing to the channel that maybe don't know me, where I've come from, what I've done. So this morning I'm going to take a little opportunity and have a little chat about who I am, where I came from, what I did through most of my life, and what the hell I'm doing here. You watch the intro. I'll have another cup of coffee while we wait for the rain to stop. See you in a minute. Bye for now. Hi, I'm Richard. Welcome to my channel, from Power Lines to Power Naps. This is my wife, Nui, and together we both left the UK in February 2022 to start and enjoy a new life and new adventures in Phuket, Thailand. Join us on our new journey together and experiences. Sit back and enjoy. Good morning, welcome back. Well, having to skip forward 24 hours, I'm afraid. The weather yesterday was just wet, so wet. Storms pretty much all day. I kept thinking, where shall I sneak off to and have a little quiet talk, but man, it was so wet and windy. We lost part of the corner of the building across yesterday in the storm. See the corner guttering all blew off and landed over there on the roof. Still very grey today, but it's dry, and I've opted to stay in my Louis coffee corner. So today a little bit about me, for those of you that don't know me. I know many of you do, but I'm now seeing subscribers subscribing to the channel who obviously I don't recognise the name, so I guess the word is spreading. There's people now from all over the world watching. We're so close. I think the last time I looked we were 2 people off 200 subscribers. So come on guys, you can get me to 200 and then let's get on the road to 500. Let's get this channel building. Good morning to Wadina. Let's get this channel building. So who am I? What am I doing here? Where have I come from? Okay. My name is Richard, from Power Lines to Power Naps. For those of you who don't know, that name will become pretty clear in the next few minutes. I was born, educated and raised in Staffordshire in England, in the central county of Staffordshire. And I guess a good place to start would be March the 6th, 1958. What a great year. And that's the day I was born. I was born into a lovely farming family. My parents were farmers, my elder brother and elder sister, and we had a great childhood on the farm. Great childhood. I guess in that era, as soon as you're big enough to pick a bucket up, then you're on the work list and not about the pay list. So hard work is encouraged from a very early age in the rural farming communities, and it was great. I reckon as soon as you were 5 and you can carry a bucket, you were assisting with the milking or helping fetching the cattle in and all sorts of things. But great childhood. Loved it. Many happy memories. For those of you who've not experienced it, possibly one of my strangest, or it'll be strange to you guys, fondest memories from a very early age, getting up extremely early in the English winter, brutal winter of the late 50s, early 60s, when snow came overnight 3-4 foot deep, was walking into a cattle shed where 30 cattle had been sleeping together all night, and coming in from that cold, snowy, bitterly snowy conditions into the heat of the cows, and the smell was just simply amazing for me. Amazing for me. Childhood back then was great. Great. We lived on a farm. We were no means wealthy. We lived on a rented farm with my parents, my brother, my sister. Life was good. Life was easy. We did what we were told. We did what we were asked to do as chores. We all mucked in as a family. Worked the dairy farm. My dad worked hard. My mum worked extremely hard. God rest their souls. My mum was a great cook. I guess I was destined to always be with great cooks. Maybe. All the home cooking and home baking was amazing. Fabulous. Easy childhood. We went out, we played with mates. A happy, handsome little farm boy on the left there. Sawadee Khab. Good morning, Kai. We built tree houses, we went out playing with our friends, made go-karts, and it was freedom. Freedom back then. And with freedom and a bit of farm work, by the age of about 12, I was driving tractors. What freedom for a kid to have. And I was quite happy to spend all day, because I've been given the tractors and trailer. I was quite happy with a fork to just load trailers with cow muck all day long, take it out to the fields. I thought I was a king. Many of my mates were riding bikes and I was driving tractors. Then I progressed to motorbikes. Used to scramble around the fields on my motorbikes, fetch the cows in, always fetch the cows in from about the age of 10, 11 on my motorbike. Great times. Good morning. Did loads of scrambling, trials with my friends, really got into it, loved it. Still got a motorbike here now in Thailand. Strange, eh? It was good. Good morning. To say good morning to so many people here. They're so friendly. I was never an academic. I went to school because I had to go to school. I didn't apply myself, if I'm honest. I spent my entire school days planning and thinking what I was going to do at night and weekends. Thank you, Marigold. My coffee has arrived. Excuse me. So it was no big surprise when I left school. High school, I left with very, very few academic results. Very quickly after leaving, and I couldn't wait to leave. Man, I ran from that place. A couple of weeks later, my mum said there's a letter come from school. and all your certificates are waiting to be collected. Well, I looked down the list. It wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. I think metalwork was my only B. The rest were way down. I was so interested. As far as I'm aware, it's now 2023. As far as I'm aware, them certificates are still back at Westwood High School in Leek. I didn't even go to collect them. At that point in my life, you leave school, you're expected to go to work. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I know that many people do. You leave school, you're expected to work, so you go get a job. Whether it's a job that you want or a vocation. And them days, it was you needed a job. I got the opportunity to stay and work for my parents on the farm, maybe even take it over. As my good morning, my brother and sister had the option too. But I think you've been involved and worked on the farm for me since a very young age. I think the first opportunity you get in life to make for yourself is when you leave school. My parents were getting older. Something told me I didn't want to be stuck on a rented farm. The money was not good, the work was hard, and I decided to not go down the farming route. And I got a job in a local garage, motor mechanic garage in Leek in Staffordshire, and I started work as a vehicle repair apprentice. Back in those days, the money was, I forget, but I think it was something like £7 a week. Long hours, long days, very poor money, dirty work. I learnt a few skills, but by the end of the 3-year apprenticeship, again, I think I was realising it wasn't for me. It wasn't going to be my life. Then I saw an advert in the local paper. And back in them days, there was many jobs available and many people after them who generally wanted to work then. And I saw this advert for the local electricity company, MEB, Midlands Electricity Board. Wanted one trainee linesman for Leek Congleton District, applying writing to the divisional manager in Leek. You think I could write letters? No. And my girlfriend at the time, who then became my first wife, hello, good morning, sat down and wrote me the application letter, to which I duly scrawled a signature at the bottom. The application was sent in, awaited some weeks. I was called in for an interview. And I remember going into this interview, and I think there was something like 58 people applied for this one job of a trainee linesman. I'd never sat in front of a board of directors and engineers and managers in my life. And there I was, sat in front of these 5 extremely important, powerful men, firing all sorts of questions at me. Do you mind working on social hours? Do you mind working outdoors? No, I came off a farm and blah blah blah. And I answered all the questions honestly, and they seemed pretty impressed. It was daunting. For me, it was daunting. Those guys were powerful men with good jobs. And I was thanked and asked to leave, and they would be in touch and let me know. And as I left the building, I left the room and nearly closed the door behind me, and one of them called me back. At this point, I thought I'd blown it. Don't ask me why. Maybe my sick sense of humour was raging even back in those days. But they called me back in, and one of them said, Richard, just one small thing. We noticed that on your application letter, it seems like you didn't write it, but you signed it. Do you have any explanation for that? And without thinking, I just opened my gob and said, I've applied for a job as a trainee linesman, not a secretary. And at that moment I thought, probably not the best thing to say. But these guys all burst out laughing, thanked me again, and I went. Anyway, I got the job. I got the job. It was the best job. It was hard to learn. I had to get used to the climbing and social hours, horrible weather, working with a fantastic group of people, linesmen, but a bit like the military, camaraderie was phenomenal, and many of my ex-colleagues are still in touch with to this day. So I launched on that career, and I worked a lot of hours unsociable. I probably worked more Christmas days than I actually didn't. I missed more Christmas dinners than I ate. The weather was always bad, there was always storms, there was always faults, there was always work. And that's pretty much how it went for the next 40 years. Getting married, having 2 beautiful daughters. Hi girls, if you're watching. Having 4 fantastic grandchildren, 2 granddaughters, 2 grandsons. And I worked for the electricity company the best part of 40 years until 2016. Just skipping back slightly, one of my early loves was music. My slightly elder brother was big into music, still is big into music. Hi bro, if you're watching. He's still singing in the pubs and clubs to this day. He was in a band and I got hooked on drums. And I used to go to their rehearsals. If it was good, I was allowed in. I had to sit in a corner and be good and be quiet. And I was fixed on the drummer and I was mesmerised by his skills. So I had a bright idea some weeks later that if I went into the farm pantry, stole some of my mum's cake tins, sneaked in the lounge, stole or borrowed 2 of her knitting needles out of her knitting bag. Memories. I used to go up to this rehearsal, sit with my cake tins and knitting needles and follow the drummer and play the tins, and that's how I got into it. And I learned and self-learned till I probably by the age of 12, 13, I think I found my first kit in a skip, all battered in different colours. I stripped them down, painted them and played them, and then went straight into bands mainly with my brother. And I played drums from still to this day, over 50 years. We used to play all over the UK. We used to go away for weeks, weekends, 2 weeks, doing clubs, pubs, nightclubs all over Wales, North East England, everywhere. So I fitted all that in with my work as well. I had some little breaks with bands, but I always went back to it. Always went back to it. I retired from the power lines 2016, like I said. It was a long career. The pension was safe because I started back in 76, 77, and it was time to start to rest my old bones a bit. I got a very good, very close friend still to this day. He offered me a job on just a small contract, just to sort 1 or 2 things out. his electrical insulator factory. It's a fairly short-term project. And very quickly after that, 2017, Nui and I started to create Nui's Kitchen in England. Nui and I have been together about, where are we now, 23, about 10 years, 10, 11 years. I met Nui locally. She'd lived in England quite a long time. She ended up living in England for 15 years. 2017 saw us launching Nui's Kitchen mobile Thai food, so we were busy. She was busy with that, I was busy helping her. We were doing markets and weddings, or she was, weddings, garden parties, festivals, food festivals, drink festivals, you name it, festivals, anything, any food function. Extremely busy. I was still playing in a band right up till the week before I actually came to Thailand. Stone Cold Soberish, very successful Staffordshire band. Hi guys, hope you're well. I do keep my eye on you. Look still to be busy. So we were a bit like ships in the night at that stage. We were up early and off to food festivals and various things. I was helping her set up 5 o'clock in the morning, and then travelling back, going to gigs at night, coming home 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. She was arriving back from her festival, I was arriving back from my festival. Then we'd have an hour, or she'd have 2 hours prepping food again for the next morning. 1, 2 hours sleep, back out again. It was tough. It was very tough. But she became successful. Very successful. I think the dreaded COVID word sort of stopped everything for everybody. I know all our gigs stopped with the band. No gigs. I think the first 12 months we lost many hundreds of jobs out of the diary. All of Nui's events stopped. You could go nowhere, you could do nothing. But Nui had this great idea, great vision. And she says, we'll do Thai to your door. What? Thai to your door. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'll cook, you deliver. We'll do Thai food deliveries within 5 kilometres of our village. Worked very well, very busy, very successful. The business was running pretty much itself with quite a lot of effort from both of us, but my involvement scaled back a little bit because it was up and running. She was busy. Good morning. And I found I got a little bit more time on my hands, so what? I fancied doing something else. I didn't know what, but I fancied doing something totally different. So I became an ambulance driver, an ambulance crew for patient transfer, private company working for the NHS. So I did that for 4 years, nearly 5 years. Loved it, worked with some great people. Great people, loved helping people. It got me out of the house. It was on bank, so I decided whether I work 2 days a week or 5, up to me. But I love the ambulance job. Learned a lot. Put life in perspective a little bit, because we saw a lot of people that were a lot worse off than ourselves. But great. Happy days, great times. Nui and I got married in England. And we said one day, we've been saying for years, one day, maybe we'll move to Thailand. We never put a year on it, or we kept saying maybe in 4 years, maybe in 3 years, and we'd never really pinned it down until the COVID situation arose. And I think towards the end of that, it was our decision to make that move. I'd been coming to Thailand. Good morning, sir. How are you? No problem. I'd been coming to Thailand. Good morning, Nui. Where you been? Shopping? For a change. I've been travelling to Thailand since about 2011. I first came over on holiday with a friend. I loved it straight away. I really, really loved it. There was something about the place. Okay, back in the day, we were single. We did all the bar scenes and all the entertainment zones and all the crazy beer stuff, parties. But there was something about Thailand I loved. And I started to travel and venture out from Bangkok and found places like Kanchanaburi, the bridge over the river Kwai, and it was so interesting. The history, and the people were both so friendly, the food was amazing, the weather was stunning. So I guess from my early visits, somewhere at the back of my head and in my heart, I knew and realised that I really liked this place. So towards the end of 2021, Nui and I had decided that the following February 22 was going to be the time that we sell up everything in England, sold everything and moved out here. And the rest, as they say, is history, because you've seen most of our day-to-day activities since we've been here. Extremely good place. I still love it as much today as I did when I first came. I love living here. I love living here with my beautiful wife Nui. I love the fact that she's committed and she's moved on and she's created this Nui's Kitchen Thailand, which is doing well for her. Slow, but doing well. We're in low season at the moment, so things are fairly quiet, but we still do okay. So that's a little bit about me. There's loads I've missed out. Too many things in 65 years to remember them all. But thanks for watching. If you've got any questions about any of my story, put them in the comments box. I'll reply to them all. Subscribers are, like I say, last time I looked, 198. Oh, how close to 200. You know what to do by now. Please subscribe, makes a big difference. Let's build the channel. We'll be at 200 by today. Then we'll go for the next target of 500. And I'll get out and make some more films. Thanks for watching. Catch you again on the next one. Bye for now.